and given us great joy this year in the various sports. Father, we ask your blessing on our fellowship and our time together. May you be honored. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
I'm not taking the photo. I'm just coming on the other side.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me have my junior high volleyball team come up here. Those of you that are here anyways. All right, I'm going to make this very, is that it? Oh, that's right. This year, for the first time in OCS history that I'm aware of, the junior high was able to go completely undefeated in regular season and in tournament this year. They were first in their conference. They were first in their conference and first in the tournament, and they wanted to make sure I clarified that they would have been completely undefeated, not even losing a match, except for the one that I messed up on, and I will take the blame for that one. So out of all matches, I want to say out of, 15 games, 30 matches, you were 29-1, technically. But I had a bit of an issue that when I was preparing for awards, I really could not pinpoint what I wanted to give each of these girls, because it's been a very long time since I've had a team stand out in the way that they did. And when I mean stand out is that each and every one of you contributed fully 110%. When you showed up, I knew what I was getting. And so I struggled with trying to give each of them, trying to figure out who MVP, who most improved, who this, who's that, because you all went above and beyond for me. So instead of giving you guys individual certificates, I gave you each a poster so you guys can each, yeah, that's right. So each of you, and I'll have to get Yanni and sorry, I'll have to get the others here later. Yep, take one, pass it down. Just take the poster. Has everybody got one? Oh, one more. Okay. But anyways, I wanted to really brag on my girls because this year my junior high team stepped up, and I'm very proud of you. Sadly, this is the only time these girls are going to really be together since I'm losing half of them. They'll be in 8th grade. They're in 8th grade, and so they'll be graduating to JV or varsity next year. But hopefully, if you guys were to stick together, you guys will see each other more and more, and we'll bring that undefeated season back. All right, thank you, girls. Go ahead and sit down. All right, varsity, make your way up. I think there's room. Is there room in there? Yeah, there's room. All right. For my varsity, a lot of the girls that are up here I've had for a very long time. Oh, Alana's not up here. Oh, she. These girls, and I had to drill into their head, like I've had to drill into their head many times, whether it's in the classroom, on the court, wherever. But I've had to remind them over and over and over and over and over again that the effort and such they put in on the court is not always going to translate into a W at the end of the day. That's just what happens. Sometimes we are not, no matter how hard you try, claw, scratch, and work, sometimes you're not going to come away with what you want. But that does not mean that what you did was any less important, any less impressive, any less, makes me any less proud. When I saw you guys step on the court, every single time I saw something new, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. But I saw something new, which means there's growth, which means they're learning, that we're getting better. And so although I know it gets frustrating that you guys don't get the season that you wanted, I'm still happy and proud of you. I am not handing out a ton of awards tonight, but I am going to pick on, this ought to be easy, so my sophomores, I'll talk about you guys first, and then I'll get my seniors here in a second. Okay, you three are a very unique group of girls that Emma, Olivia, and Mackenzie. Mackenzie being our setter who has stepped up to the plate numerous times over and over again. She, due to that hard work that and communication that she has on the court, and like I've said before, the setter is like the quarterback in football, the pitcher in baseball. There's nothing that really can happen offensively without a strong setter on the court. And because of that, I am going to give Mackenzie my best offensive player. Now, Olivia and Emma, I'm going to single you guys out. I may not have a little pretty piece of paper to give you, but I'm singling these two out because they are some very impressive young girls. And when I say that, Olivia is one that she shows her emotions on her face, kind of like she's doing right now. It was very clear to me, you can read her because her face gives it away. She could say one thing, but her face is telling me something else. Something that we kind of have in common is that they can read me very well just by my body language. They know they're in trouble if I sit down. If I sit down, they know, oh, Miss Ross is sitting. Miss Ross is sitting. Just stop. And they'll get everyone's attention. But Olivia, her temperament, if you watch her play, if you watch her go blank, just stern, then you know that the other side is in for it. That something clicks in her head, that when her face goes stern, that she is intense, she is paying attention, she is after it. And though, like I said, you may not get a certificate from me, don't ever think for a moment that I don't notice you out there and all the work that you put in on the court. Emma's my Barbie doll. Emma's very, very bubbly. There's nothing you can really do to get her down. Her temperament's the same all the time. All the time, doesn't matter how bad something's going, Emma is all the time. I call her my Disney princess or Barbie doll because the bright blue eyes, the long flowing hair, and she's just. And there's been many times where on the court, people will look at Emma, sometimes out of frustration, because like, Emma, we're getting her behinds kicked. Why are you so bubbly? Like, how are you looking like this right now? And Emma just smiles. It's like, it's okay, guys. All right, now, though that's not my temperament, I can appreciate her temperament on the court. I can appreciate that no matter what, no one can get under her skin. It's like, doesn't matter what's going on, I know I can look at Emma, and Emma's going to give me exactly what I need, because no one can get under that skin. And many times, no matter how frustrating it might be to some of the others of how bubbly she is in those tough situations, there's been times where Emma does something and the rest of them start to giggle because they realize they can't hold that in any longer. Emma is the icebreaker, and as many times has broken that really tough situation and made it a little bit easier for everyone to deal. So again, I appreciate that from you girls. Thank you. Now my seniors, my two over there hiding in the corner, VK. VK's one that once to solve all the world's problems all at the same, like all at once. She comes to me and says, Miss Ross, what can I do to be better? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? And sometimes I just have to tell her to shut up. As kindly as I possibly can, her brain's going a million miles a minute. And really, in all, like at least the way I see her, is that I know that when she goes out there, she is doing her best, which is all I can ask for. Is that she's putting in 110%. I can't ask for anything more of you. You're doing everything I need you to do, or everything I know you are able to do. And though she is going a million miles a minute, I ask you just to slow down. Slow down a little bit and notice and realize that it's okay. It's okay. Faith and VK, actually, neither one of them played for me last year. I'm still a little bitter about it, but that's okay. But they came back this year, and Faith was able to play one last season with OCS, and she has been an all-around very strong player. She defensively is one of my strongest players, offensively one of my strongest players. I'm sure looking at stats, she would lead in kills. She was very close behind Alana and leading with blocks. And for that, I wanted to give Faith my most valuable player, MVP. You're welcome. All right, again, girls, I am very proud of you. Thank you for a wonderful season, even though it may not have gone the way you wanted. Thank you. Fabulous. Yep. Don't forget to.
Gotcha. Can I have soccer up here, please? Yeah. Scooch on down. Scoot down. So, this year during soccer, I actually was only going to be the assistant coach, but due to a scheduling conflict with the head coach, he had to step down, so I took his spot. And not knowing what was going to happen during the season, I had some players that I've coached before, but then I had some sixth graders and junior high kids, and I had no idea what to expect. But through that, we won some games. We lost pretty bad to some teams, but at the end of the season, all of their hard work and dedication led to a third place trophy in conference with a bunch of young guys and a couple of seniors. So I am grateful for all your hard work and dedication. So thank you. For my pick for this player, I know his family, and I didn't really know him when he first got here, but I found out that he played club soccer for a little bit. He didn't really show skill at the beginning, but as the season went along, he started to show his true potential. And for my coach's pick goes to Keegan Powell. Now, for this award, it should come as no surprise. My Hustle Award goes to Caden Askew. For those of you who don't know Caden, he pretty much has one speed when he plays sports. It is 100 miles per hour or absolutely nothing. Sometimes I would like him to slow down, but Caden's just going to be Caden. He's just going to go. So his hustle, he could go on offense and then turn right back around and help out on defense. So he was a huge help to our team, and his hustle was unmatched. My best defensive player goes to Ian Askew. Now, Ian, he grew a little bit this year, got a little taller. I coached him before, and he was back on my back line a couple years ago with Mario and Desi on that back line, and our defense was actually pretty good. Ian, though, paid attention to what we learned in practice and took notes from Desi from years before and really helped out our back line, keeping it organized. So, Ian, thank you for keeping the defense intact all season long. Now, my best offensive player, I couldn't choose, so I have two, and those go to Desi Manil and Toby Bone. Starting with Toby, he's kind of like Caden in the fact that he likes to go 100 miles per hour as well. And sometimes when he takes a touch on the ball and tries to get through the defense, he ends up kicking the ball a little too far, and the defense has all the time in the world to get to the ball, and Toby can't catch up to it. But towards the end of the season, his touches became a little shorter, got under control. I will tell a story that Desi and Toby know. In the third place game, it was getting down to the end of the game. Score was tied. It was like the last 30 seconds of the game. And we got a corner kick on the end. And there is a video of this that I am very proud of. Toby was taking the corner, and Desi was back on defense. And I told Desi to go up, and I said, "You're going to put a head on the ball, and we're going to win the game." So sure enough, Toby plays the best corner kick I've ever seen in my life. And Desi hit the ball in, and we ended up winning third place in MoCan. Now, this person is not here tonight that I see, but my most improved award goes to Tate Bowen. When Tate came in, he said he wanted to be goalie, and at first, Tate's not the tallest person, so putting him in a rather large goal after Isaac left is a little questionable, but after seeing the way that he would actually go after the ball and just risk everything for a ball no matter who was coming at him was something that Isaac would do. Like, Isaac, you're here, so I'm going to pick on you a little bit. I've seen Isaac go full steam and knock somebody over to get a ball before. I've also seen Isaac take a hard hit in the head before, but he got the ball anyways. But Tate progressed through the season. He got a whole lot better towards the end. There was one game he got injured, so we had Jalen take over in goal, which Jalen's pretty good too. But Tate came back, and we really needed him, and Tate helped us get through the rest of the season and helped us get that third place trophy. So thank you, Tate, for all your work. Now, my most valuable player probably is no surprise, goes to Caden Askew. Caden pretty much played in the midfield all season long because he was the only person who could go play offense and come back on defense. And when he wasn't in the game due to most likely cramping, which we won't go into much detail on how often that happened, it hurt our team that he wasn't out there helping keep things together, and I really appreciate all his work. Also, I appreciate his leadership. Most of you wouldn't know this, but at the beginning of during soccer season, I came to Caden with the idea of what if we started devotions at lunch on Wednesdays for just to have school devotions with the team. And Caden said that it sounded like a good idea, and so Caden and I, up until we had a shutdown because of COVID, did devotions every Wednesday, which to me helped me out a lot, just spiritually, but also just seeing the way that Caden could lead and take over and be the best example for this group of guys. I am glad that I can call him a dear friend and more importantly, a brother in Christ. So Caden, thank you for all your leadership. Thank you for making this year of coaching enjoyable, and thank you guys for giving everything in practice and on the field. I appreciate you all dearly. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Coach Maya, if you don't know, let me get junior high girls up here. While they're walking, this was an interesting season. Second season with these girls as their head coach, and it was a night and day difference from our first season. We struggled to get one win, I think, last year. On the last game of the season, they pulled out a win. And this year, they went almost. We lost one game in the regular season, then we lost in the championship game for the junior high tournament. So I would like to applaud them just for that aspect. So with that being said, I'm excited for next year and all of their potential. We're losing Miss Haley, but other than that, these girls will be back. If not, I'll be hunting you down in the schools. Haley and Lydia, G2. You
have several eighth graders.
Yeah, a handful of you guys. So we're still, next year will be interesting, but I'm looking forward to the more of the progress that you guys will make over the year and the potential that you have. And so with that being said, I'm throwing pins. So this first one that I have, this girl, I struggled to even get her to shoot our first year. And this last year, she really out there going for broke each play. She was one of our starters, and she has a very good shot, and tiniest one out there at times, and she's not afraid to just throw it all on the line. I call her the clothesline because she likes to play defense, like throwing her body. But even this year, we've gotten the feet to move, and we're putting up shots without me having to yell from the bench to encourage her. So Jolie, you have our Most Improved Award. Thank you. This one. Same for the previous season. I felt like half coach, half therapist most games because I'm on the sideline just trying to hold them together. And this is one of mine that I really saw an improvement in that this last season. She was a leader on the court, and I can tell the wheels are turning a lot of the time, and that gives me hope for as she progresses, as the seasons go on. These girls are so young, but I see so much potential in them. And this one I was able to really entrust with leading the girls on the court, calling the plays, being able to really take it and run with it without me kind of having to hold her hand through the whole game. So Miley, you have my coach's pick this year. Going on to our defensive award. I have coined this girl, and the term stuck this season with Haley Arms. And I watch her on the sideline, and I just think to myself, when I played, I would not want this girl guarding me because she would bother me all get out. She's all over the place in a good way. And if there was a girl that we needed to shut down, this is who we were putting on to take one less person off a threat for the other team. So Haley, you have our defensive award. And last but not least, this one is, she's a former Tiny but Mighty for our Hustle Award, Miss Addie. She is one that I could throw out there, and again, she's one of the smallest ones on the court a lot of the time, but she's not afraid to just throw her body out there. She could get banged up. I'm having to plead with her to tell me if she's okay. Otherwise, she's out there and she's getting nitty gritty with the rest of them, and I can really appreciate that. I didn't have to worry about her kind of dragging her feet on some plays. She's always out there giving it 100%. And so, Addie, you are our Hustle Award winner. You got $5 for me? So, Madison, I want to touch on her. This is her first year, fifth grader, playing with junior high girls, and I really applaud her. She, sometimes these girls would just kind of give me that deer in the headlight look when it was their time to go in, and Madison was one that she's like, she's ready the whole game. She's like, Coach, can I play? Coach, can I play? Coach, can I play? I'm like, all right, Madison, go in and sick them. And toward the end of the season, I did not have to worry about her getting picked on, but more so, she's going out there and in the best term possible, like a little ankle biter. She's getting up under them, and she's getting after the ball. And so, Madison, I want to recognize you for that as well. Make sure you three, come over here so I can see you. There's four. Who else is down there? Tatum, Faven, Lydia, G2. Come over here. You four. These girls, along with Madison, pretty sure this was all your first year playing basketball, right? And so we went from poor Lydia getting a tech the first game because she's just trying to figure out what's going on, and the ref was not very gracious to her. She was one of our starters a lot of the games. And so I want to recognize you for sticking in there, not breaking down, and just being like, take me out. But you stuck in there, and I'm looking forward to your progress next season as well. Tatum, you're another one. First year, no clue what offense, defense is. Like first game, first practices, we're having to break it down from start to finish. And toward the end of the season, she was really one that I could throw in there, and she was a problem for the offense. She'd get in there, and she'd shut people down, just like the rest of them. And I appreciate your hard work and your effort, even though, again, at many times you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. You could at least say that and acknowledge it, and you were ready for me to tell you, hey, go here, go do this, and you went in and you did exactly what I need you to do. So thank you for that. Faven, you're another one. She get in there, kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I will do what you tell me to do. And so I can truly appreciate that. And again, these are all building blocks on the potential that I can see for you girls if you choose to return next season, whether that's in junior high or when you go to varsity. But you're one, I appreciate your attitude. You were never one that I had to worry about kind of having to coach along the game, but to really stay in it. You're positive, and you're always willing to go out there and do exactly as I told you to. And G2, to end with you, I appreciate your effort as well. Another one that was very green when we started the season, and you went out there and you were ready to play defense. You're one of our kind of taller ones, so I could throw you down low, and you weren't intimidated by these girls that were towering over you. So I appreciate, again, all of your guys' effort and the outstanding season that you had, and I look forward to what we bring to the table next year. So thank you, girls. Yeah, you stay. Varsity, varsity, varsity. Yes. Everybody up here? Oh, of course. All right. So, first off, I want to say thank you to the parents and administration for entrusting me with not just junior high, but varsity this year. It was a privilege to take over as head for both of these teams. And I just appreciate y'all's trust that you put in me to lead these girls. And to the girls themselves for trusting me, even though they would kind of look at me with that deer in the headlights, like, you want me to do what? They still did a good job of just going out and following my lead. So with that being said, starting off, this girl, first year, no experience to basketball, and toward the end of the season, she, due to just circumstances of the players that we had at hand, she was, I think she even started a couple of our games. But again, very green, totally reliant on whatever Coach B and I had to tell her. Lynn, for our rookie award, come over here. We definitely appreciate your attitude and just your willingness to go out there and do whatever you were told, playing some solid defense. Even if you're like, I have no idea what spot I'm supposed to be in right now, but I'm just going to put my arms up and move my legs. And that was 50% of what we need you to do, and the rest of it was just your attitude. So thank you, Lynn. Next up, this girl, and just a bit of our season, it was a challenging season. The main thing that I would ask these girls for were two things. What was that? Effort and attitude. Every game was a challenge, to say the least. And so again, I found myself this year having to play a little less therapist and more coach. But with this one specifically, her heart was always there. She was our point guard, and her mind, her wheels are turning constantly as far as what she can do to be better, what she can do to help the other girls on the team, to just work in unity. And so Mackenzie, I gave you our Hustle Award for that. She's one, she'd go out, she'd get banged up, and she'd get right back up. She might come over and wince and give me shed a tear or two, but she's right back out there ready to hit it hard. So I appreciate your effort on that. This one, it's a defensive award for most blocks. Miss Olivia, come here. Miss Olivia. I give Olivia a hard time, but it's because I love her. She easily had the most blocks for the season. Going into next season, we're going to work on blocking without getting close to fouling out, because we will use that as a positive and not one of her arch nemesis next season. But with that being said, I had no issues telling her to get in there and get after it, even if it's a girl that's towering over her. She was ready to go get them. And so I don't get that from everyone in an aspect of they don't feel, you have to really push them to go out there and play defense. And Olivia was one that I know she's going to go for broke on every shot, whether it's going up and the girl's 6 feet tall or if it's a little pipsqueak, she's going to block that ball. So we appreciate you on that, Olivia. Look forward to next season. Next up, toward the end of the season, again, just the way that things happened, going into the tournament, we had a completely different starting five, I think. So with that being said, I had to throw this one a curveball. I said, we get down to Joplin, and I'm like, you're starting point. Back to kind of what Marion said, I could see a little bit of terror in her eyes, but she did it with a smile. So Emma, come here. Emma is my coach's pick. This girl, I could throw her out there and I don't have to worry about her throwing an attitude. I could tell her to play any position, and she went out there willing and ready to do it with a smile. And so sometimes last year it was hard for me to read, like, is she upset? Like, are you understanding what I'm saying? Because it's just this all the time. So I appreciate that, and that I never have to worry about picking her up after the game. Not that I completely destroyed you guys, but you were a solid and a steady pace for both seasons now, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate your hard work and being willing to do whatever you were told to do. So appreciate you, Emma. And VK and Faith, get over here. Our two seniors. This was, again, a challenging season, especially for it to be their senior year. And with that being said, VK, I especially want to recognize you. She really stepped up this year. Again, every game was like, we're scrapping for our life out there. And VK really stepped into a leadership role this year and just trying to encourage the girls. Before the game, she's in there saying nothing but positive things, trying to get them hype up. And after the game, come back in. We might have lost by 20, 30, 40 points, and she's still coming in. She might be crying, but she's telling the other girls, like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. Next game, we'll do better. And so with that being said, I have a senior leadership award for you, VK. And last but not least, this one's season got cut short, sadly, and you were missed on the court. You were one of those that, even if I need you to go down and play a post, you'd do it, and you would do it well. And so, Faith, I have you as our MVP. And so, don't act too shocked. But again, she's one that. She wasn't a green player. She's seasoned, and with that, we really tried to take this season up till her, unfortunately, getting hurt, and really building upon what you already knew, and you took it and you ran with it this season. You were there for the girls even after you were injured. You're sitting there on the sideline, coaching them every game, even down to the tournament, and so that's rough to do. Your senior year, you're hurt, and you're having to miss out on all the fun, and so. On and off the court, you are our MVP, and you are a great encouragement to the girls, and we appreciate all your hard work this year. So, my junior high special awards down there, Miley, Haley, Jolie, Addie, you're all up here, right? I can't see you. Oh my gosh, go figure. They were the two I had to wrangle to get on the bench too, so. No shocker to be all the way out there. But I want to specially recognize you girls. Again, many games toward the end of the season, they're getting time, just by the way that we had to rotate girls in and out and just by who we had available. And you guys made no hesitation to get out and play with other seniors, other varsity girls in your very young and small age. And so, again, it's just a glimpse of what I think we have to see in the future. And I appreciate your effort and attitude that you guys gave to be ready to fill in on the bench as needed. And so appreciate you girls. We love you. Special shout out to Coach B. She's in the back holding my child, but she'll be around next year as well. But we're looking forward to next season and what these girls have to bring to the plate. And we're very, very proud of you again, even with all the challenges. But you guys are gold. So we love you. Thank you guys.
Can I have junior high basketball up here, please? Oh, man. I did not. I'll sign them after.
Make sure you mention Pierre. Mention. It's a little mess up here.
All right, so this year, I helped Mr. Dixon out with junior high team. When we got to practice, I had no idea what to expect. I basically had a new group. Pretty much the only player that I've seen play was Benicio, and I think Joel were the only people that I've seen play before, and Tate. So this year was challenging. Besides Benicio and Brody and Mateo, we are pretty short. But most of them are pretty skilled. If they keep working hard, they'll get even better. Hopefully you guys practice over the summer. All right, looking at you. Starting off with Hustle Award, this is going to Brody and Joel Sumter. Joel's one of those, is it your first year playing basketball? So Joel came in, and I didn't know, I've seen him play soccer, but I never saw him play basketball before. But he came in and really hustled on defense, hustled getting back, hustled down the court every single time. And Joel, thanks for getting back on defense every time. The second person, Brody. Oh man. Brody would come down the court, and when someone's going in for a layup, he would honestly scare me that he is going to take the kid out every single time. Once you get older and get some post moves, man, you're going to be a monster down low. It's going to be ridiculous. But Brody hustled. He also hustled in soccer, but in basketball especially, came down the court every single time, played defense, hustled to the spot to try to beat the person there. He got in foul trouble a lot, but it's all right. We'll work on that for next season. So thank you, Brody. Now, my coach's pick for this team is Justin Caribou. Justin, I was a little harder on Justin because I knew of what he was capable of, and came into practice, and sometimes he would just be super hard on himself for a mistake that happened. He would turn the ball over, miss a shot. I mean, almost every shot that he missed, he seemed like it was like the end of the world or something, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but towards the end of the season, he got better, started hitting a couple shots, and then helped build his motivation. So I hope you stick to it, and I hope you come back next year, because I would like to coach you again. So thank you. Now, my best offensive player was Benicio Talbot. Don't move. Stay here. He is also my MVP for this year too. Don't go anywhere. Come back here. Come back here. So, during the season, at the beginning, Benicio was there for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 games. And then he wasn't on the team for a while. And then he came back to me one day and he asked me, he was like, can I come back and play? And I was like, I mean, I didn't necessarily like tell you to stop, or you didn't have to play or anything. But he came back, was super polite about it, and the team wanted him back, so we brought him back and instantly made an impact defensively and offensively, offensively especially. Benicio in a tournament, I think it was regular season game when we played Heartland. We were playing Heartland here. It was super close, and Benicio, I think, got a steal at like half court and scored the game-winning layup and got us a win. And that was great because for some of you who don't know, I don't really care for Heartland, honestly. I don't really care for them. So beating Heartland on our home court was actually pretty great. So Benicio, thank you for your hard work, your leadership, and you're going to be in high school next year, so hopefully you come back and play varsity next year, and we'll see you on the court. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone on the team, especially Pierre and Mateo and Connor. Man, for Connor, Mateo, and Pierre, I could send them in for anybody, and they wouldn't really ask a question. They would just go in there and fill that spot no matter what. Pierre, if I put Pierre in there, I know that he's following the ball wherever it goes. So I just told Pierre to go guard the ball because Pierre's kind of vicious on defense. Like, honestly, he kind of scares me sometimes because if a junior high player goes out there and he's dribbling the ball and this player from the other team just comes running up, like playing defense and playing super hard defense, sometimes can set them on edge and cause them to have a turnover. So Pierre, thank you for going in. Connor. When I sent Connor in, mostly was for like a guard because we got in foul trouble a lot. But Connor would go in there and he would just listen to whatever I said in the huddle. He would pay attention every time. When I would send him in, he would play his spot, run the play correctly. So Connor, thank you for paying attention all season long, and I hope you come back next year and play again. Pierre, I hope you come back too. I'm not leaving you out. Mateo is a man after my own heart. Mateo would come down the court, and it did not matter how far back from the three-point line he would shoot with all the confidence in the world. And one time I was about to yell at him, and the ball went in the hoop, and I was like, if I was in his shoes my senior year, I shot that ball, so I know exactly how it feels. So thank you for going in there, and even though it's not the greatest shot, thank you for at least being confident enough to shoot the ball, and hope you come back next year and play. So guys, again, thank you for everything this season. It was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you next year.
It's gonna be tough to follow Gabe in his shoes, but I'm gonna try. Varsity, high school, get up here, please. Let's see. Oh, got you. Hello, sir. During the season, there was a lot of wins. There was a lot of losses. During practice, we didn't have much time to do as much as we wanted because there was a lot of kids and not so much space, but we worked through it, and we succeeded in many ways that even I didn't foresee at the beginning of the season. I've coached in a lot of different places, and coaching this group on and off the court had to be some of the most fun times I had coaching. So I really appreciate that from every single one of you. Can we give them a round of applause, please? All right, thank you. All right, Desi. Best basketball IQ. Here you go. Desi, offensively and defensively, he's a very, very intelligent basketball player. And he knows it and doesn't try to hide it. And I appreciate that because it was a sense of confidence that he had instilled into him. He tried to push that confidence in the most positive ways onto his other teammates. And in game situations, he would talk to me before games, he'd talk to me after games, talk to me. And it was really obvious that he just knew the game of basketball, and it was greatly appreciated. It really was. So thank you, Desi. All right, so Caden, most consistent. Caden was the most consistent when it came to everything. Hustle, layups, easy layups, difficult layups, threes, defense, fouls. He was consistent in every single thing. And when you're a coach, you appreciate consistency because every single day he walked into practice as a leader. Every single day we had a game, he walked into the game as a person that you knew you could depend on because he brought certain things to the table in very positive ways, including the intangibles. And you knew that he was never going to take a day off. So I greatly appreciate that from Caden, especially with him being a senior. His leadership qualities, I could go on and on about him, but he is greatly appreciated, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. So there you go. Next is Toby for best effort. Toby worked hard. Practice, games, he was giving 100% of what he had every single time, and once again, I greatly appreciated it. Sometimes he'd run down the game, and I'll say, Toby, go to your left, and he would look at me in the middle of the game, and I'm like, no, don't look at me, just go to your left. And then eventually he would go over there, but he would give 100% effort every single time, and it was really, really appreciated because that effort took him from the beginning of the year not knowing how much playing time he would get to being one of the most crucial people on the team at the very end of the season when we were in Joplin. And I hope this effort continues on, and I don't need to hope, I actually know it will continue on. There you go. That's not good. That's not good. Next is Ian with most coachable. There you go. If you're a coach, you really look for coachable players. A player that, if you tell them to go right, they'll go right. You tell them to go left, they'll go left. Tell them to shoot, they'll shoot. Tell them to play hard defense, they play hard defense. Ian was the most coachable player that I've ever coached, and I really appreciated it. I know Gabe appreciated it. He would go out there and he would do exactly what you told him to do. And once again, if you're a coach, the coachability of a player is one of the greatest things you could ask for, and Ian definitely had that, so appreciate that, Ian. All right, next we have Cole with best teammate. Here we go. Cole, he didn't get much playing time, but you would never know that. Cole would be on the bench. He'd be the loudest person on the bench saying defense. There would be a whole crowd here, college students, parents, everybody, referees blowing the whistle, shoes screeching, and you would always hear Cole. And I greatly appreciated it because, we would have some people on the bench who maybe, who would be a little down on themselves. But even Cole would go to them and go, keep your head up. He would be a positive influence, not just on the people on the court, but the people he would sit next to at all times. And I've known Cole since I taught him last year. And that kind of attitude that he has transcends off the court and in life in general. And it's very infectious. And once again, Cole, that mentality will continue on in life, and it will bring you lots of pleasures. I guarantee it. So thank you. Yeah, so once again, I really appreciate this team. Next year, I hope we have an even more successful season than we did this past year, and I can't wait to see the growth of all of you. So thank you. Yeah.
All right, since Mr. Keeler wasn't able to make it tonight, I will go ahead and call track up to the stage. Track is one of the few, I shouldn't say few, it's one of the sports that I know very little about. I've never played it, I never participated, and honestly, I think the only meets I've attended was through you guys. But in the time that I was able to attend these meets and the time that I started to build up or start the track program again, I have learned a lot. And I will say that working with Keeler and watching you girls participate, he was impressed and so was I. I mean, these kids really went out there. Most of our track meets were against other public schools. We were going up against Kaufman, Northeast, Central, some of the larger public schools on the Missouri side. And these girls and our guys competed well against them. They did an amazing job this season. Wait a minute, I do have his awards. This year we also started cross country, and hopefully next year we will continue that. And Keeler wanted to award his MVP for cross country to Caden Askew, who probably didn't come up here because he didn't think cross country was a part of track, but that's okay. We were going to do cross country and track at the same time, so yeah, Desi was part of cross country. Who was it? Ian. Where's Ian? On the end. For track for the girls, Keeler wanted to recognize Tiana for her outstanding performance. She received MVP. Let's see, for our boys in track, he's really stepped up. Like on the public school side, our junior high, unlike with Mocan and Misha, junior high are not able to step into the high school role. They have to stay at their grade level. But when this kid was put in Mocan and Misha and he was going up against juniors and seniors, again, he competed. He was right up there in the top 10 of the kids that were down there, and that will go to Benicio Talbot. Ah, there you are. All right. Keeler also wanted to recognize his freshmen. Ian wanted to make sure I made note at some point, so I guess I can do it now. Ian is my only athlete that has participated in every sport. He did cross country, soccer, basketball, and track. So he's the only one that's done the whole He was in something every point of the year. So Ian receives Freshman of the Year for his performance with track. And then for the girls, Freshman of the Year, we have Katie. Katie was new to us this year. Did an amazing job performing with any track meet that I witnessed her in. My younger boys here, we have a couple sixth graders who have been begging since they were fifth grade to participate with track, and they finally had their chance, and they saw what it was like having to run out in the heat and up against the sixth graders were considered junior high. And I was impressed. Like I said, I know I don't know a lot about track, but when I'm watching our kids up against programs that have been, very well footed in the sport, and our kids are beating and competing with these kids, it made me smile. And I was very, very proud of how Justin, Mateo, and Keegan, especially Keegan, who had to deal with jumping back and forth between drama and track and having to fight between the two programs, he showed up and showed out when he could. So thank you, boys, for doing all you could this year. All right, I think that's it, guys. Tia, this is for you. Thank you, guys. You can take a seat. We are going to go ahead and play a slideshow for you, kind of a summary of the season.
My students can tell you that I spend a good bit of my time talking about the importance of balance. And I admire student athletes who are able to achieve balance and participate in sports and also maintain academic excellence. So I get the privilege this evening of awarding the Scholar Athlete Award. This award goes to the athlete who achieved the highest grade point average for the school year. It's awarded to a high school student, and we'll award one for a boy and one for a girl. This year's Male Scholar Athlete Award goes to Ian Askew. Ian, come and receive this award. And this year's Female Scholar Athlete Award goes to Mackenzie Pollard. Mackenzie, come on up. And I would just close my remarks. I don't know that I was supposed to make any, but I'm going to. I'm here. You can't stop me now. I would just close my remarks by saying, despite the little hiatus that I took from teaching this year, which I'm very grateful to be back doing that, I believe this is the year that I have had the fewest opportunities to tell students that they were ineligible for athletics. And I take great pleasure in not having to do that particular job. So thank you to all of you athletes for maintaining your grades while participating.
Okay, Al, if you could come up here. I wasn't sure if you saw or not. Or, yeah.
Are you going to announce these and I'll pass them out?
No, I thought you were announcing.
Oh, I thought I was doing your award.
You're doing the Mighty in Spirit, too.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's the protocol?
Good attitude.
Boy and girl. All right, it's my pleasure to present the 2022 Mighty in Spirit Award to a boy and a girl athlete. The girl athlete this year, Mighty in Spirit Award, goes to Emma Carpenter. Smiling all the way up and down. The 2022 Mighty in Spirit Award for the boys goes to Caden Askew. It's my pleasure to present the 2022 Coach of the Year Award. This is a meaningful award because the coaches vote for this. So this is an honor to be voted the Coach of the Year by your fellow coaches. And this year's Coach of the Year Award goes to Marion Ross. I don't have a certificate for you, Marion, and since you're giving some of the students a hard time, I'm going to give you a little hard time. I don't have a certificate to give you, but I can generate one tomorrow. We do probably between 500 and 600 purchase orders a year. Every dime we spend, we have to document. And if I were to give you an award, it would be the person who has generated the most purchase orders in a year. You would get that award. So congratulations.
It's easy if you just give me a stamp. closing out, we are going to go ahead and give the Athlete of the Year award. The Athlete of the Year award is giving to either a junior or senior, based off of their participation in multiple sports. It's a generalized award that we give to an athlete that has shown above and beyond the right attitude and has represented Christ and OCS well. This year, our Student Athlete of the Year awards will go to Faith Bruce and Caden Askew. Go slow so your parents can get a picture. Do you see your names on? Yes, it says your names on them. And look that way. At mom and dad and at the camera. Yes, there you go. All right, before I call Mr. Sankin up for a closing prayer, I do have one more announcement to make. Next year, there will be some changes being made. I've already spoken to my girls because I wanted to make sure that they heard it from me first before it was made public. When they came into my classroom they immediately became fearful, and I believe it was Miley who started going over and over and over again, she's not coming back next year. She's not coming back. That's why she brought us in here. She's not coming back. She's leaving us. She's going away. And I smiled because she wasn't right. I was teasing. I'm coming back next year, but I am coming back in a different role. I will remain as AD for OCS, but I am stepping out of the classroom full-time. And I will also be stepping away as head coach for OCS volleyball. But with that being said, I am making that change because I am stepping into my new role as head coach for KCC volleyball. Thank you. I'm excited at this opportunity, and I was telling some of the girls, because something that commonly gets thrown around is how the college keeps taking people from OCS. But let me better explain as to why I'm even making the move. I turned down that job at least 3 times over the past 5 years. And I was personally in a place where I have been questioning, in my personal life, if I have been blocking my blessings. I was at a point where I kind of felt stuck. I started to get anxious because nothing had changed for a while. I hadn't really grown in a while, and I was getting anxious. And this was right around the time where they came to me for the 3rd time with this position. And when they came to me again, I said no. I said no, then it turned into, well, maybe. And then they came to me again. And I realized that at some point I was going to have to shut up and get out of my own way, and stop asking so many questions about if I am blocking my own blessings or if I was just being oblivious to it. I am convinced now that God had been showing me this for the last 5-ish years, and I just kept saying no because of the doubts I had in myself. So, with that being said, I got over it and have accepted the position and am now excited to move into that new role, but I also, it frees me up to be able to do more with the athletic program. So now we hopefully will be adding a few more sports next year. We will be adding an elementary program next year. There's a lot of things I want to add to my plate, of course, but now I have the time to do it. So I'm definitely going to need everybody's help in order to do that. But now I have the time that I can focus and help grow a program that is deserving of it. Thank you. Oh, Al. While Al's making his way up here, I wanted to also say thank you to my coaches. To all of my coaches who have stepped up this year, whether you filled in last minute or, whatever the case may be, thank you for putting all these, all these hours in for these kids, leading them on and off the court, allowing them to see you as a model, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad, but hey, it's all learning. Thank you for all that extra effort. I understand that taking time off from work, they're not getting paid enough for this. Thank you for all of that. And so here's our little token of appreciation for you guys. Another purchase order, by the way. But here's, thank you guys.
Well, the idea that the college steals people from OCS is a misnomer, because every year, all of our teachers and staff become free agents, and they can do what they want. The other thing I want to mention is that Ms. Ross will not be gone from OCS. She will be teaching junior high and high school PE, as well as elementary PE for OCS. So you're going to see a lot of her. Maybe some of you will see more of her. So with that said, thank you, Ms. Ross. And you have something else?
I don't, but apparently Caden does.
Okay, Caden, you have something?
He snuck up here.
I noticed that.
All right, just a few things. This table right here, little guys for soccer. You guys didn't know what you were doing half the time, but out there I could tell you what to do, and you would just go do it, no problem. And that got us third place. Even if we didn't have some of you are like 5th, 6th grade. Which shouldn't be on a varsity team at all, but we still beat other varsity teams that were a lot better than us, so thank you for that. Bobby and Desi. First of all, Desi, a lot of times, basketball and soccer both, would straight up yell at me half the game, sometimes for no reason, but sometimes he put me in my place and got me back in the right mindset I need to be in. And Bobby doesn't get the amount of recognition he deserves. He puts in a lot of work, and every game he goes out and gives his all, even if he has a bit of a temper, got a couple red cards, technicals. It's okay. Huh?
Only knew of one.
One red card, that's it. Okay. Yeah. But he still did all he could and helped us get those wins. Gabe, he's been with me since my half sling and slasher days in junior high. And just thank you for being there the whole time. And then Miss Ross. Other seniors know this. We can just go to her anything we want. And we can go in a room, talk to her about anything, and just thank you for all that.
Please stand with me as we dismiss. Heavenly Father, we give you glory for this place. We give you glory and thanks for these parents who have their children in this place. We give you glory for what is able to be accomplished. For you, we think of all the prayers that have gone up before games, for safety, for testimony, and many times we say we'll be careful to give you the credit and the praise. And tonight, in case we didn't do that, we do that now. We give you the credit, we give you the praise for what you do in this place. Dismiss us, Father, give safety and alertness to everyone as they drive home. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for coming. You're dismissed.